I think we're back. Hello. Let me just check. I think let me look at the live. I think we're back. I think we're back. I think we're back. Yes. All right. Now, where was I? Let me just check. I think let me look at the live. Let me just double check this. I think we're back. I think we're back. I think we're back. Yes. All right. Now, where was I? Let me just check. I think let me look at the live. Testing. All right. I think we're here. Cool. All right. Let's continue on with the question, shall we?
Do you want to go back and get ones you missed on the first one?
I'm scared. I'm very scared. I will try. Questions I missed. Questions I missed. Questions I missed.
Aware Super's free My Retirement
Damn, I just had deja vu.
Planner helps Australia.
All right, look, anyway. Let's see. Well, I can't. Anyway. Ugh. I hate looking at my feed. It's just so much like, very troubling. Everything's always troubling, isn't it? Anyway, let's go back to contributing to that general malay, shall we? Look, I think this is probably a good opportunity to start talking about the lay of the land as we start getting some more questions up with bills attached to them. Thank you very much. Dollar bills, that is. But I think that this would probably be a good opportunity to start talking about the lay of the land for this election. Here's what's at stake here. Labor's been in for nearly 3 years at this point. What have they accomplished? Well, suffice to your uncle that is constantly saying they haven't done anything. The reality is, what the Labor Party did was get us out of the global cost of living crisis faster than virtually any government on Earth. Virtually any government on Earth did they rein down inflation faster. Virtually any government on Earth did they get employment back to a normal level, in fact, lower than what it normally is. Now, that is not just a random thing that happened under them. That was very deliberate. Did you know that Anthony Albanese, this is an incredible stat that I was reading today. Did you know that Anthony Albanese has created the most amount of jobs of any Prime Minister in Australian history? In Australian history, he is putting his contemporaries in the dust. I think that he is going to go for something along the lines of nearly 1.2 million jobs created in his tenureship. 1.2 million jobs. I think Malcolm Turnbull was the second closest after that, which was 500,000. So he's almost tripling the Liberals' MVP. Wrap your head around that. How are those jobs being created, by the way? Because they always just sit there and say, oh yeah, we're creating jobs. What does that actually mean? You know what that is, mostly. A lot of it is making aged nursing home an attractive place to work, seeing as that they're actually paying them livable wages now. So that's a big plus. They're also making sure that there's enough nurses on staff, though they're not inundated with a bunch of old people being like, I shit myself, nurse, I also shit myself, nurse. And that's not just the beginning of it, really. It is a bunch of public service jobs that they have created. It is a bunch of jobs that they've created in TAFE. It is a bunch of jobs that they have created in... Oh, I've got the questions here. Thank you very much. It's a bunch of jobs that they have created by opening up all these apprenticeships in TAFE. And that is what is going to be driving the economy moving forward. This is what is happening behind closed doors. And if we had anything resembling an honest media, they would be talking about what the Labor Party is pushing for. It is incredible that you just have all of these dickhead pundits in the new media and old media saying they're doing nothing, they're just spinning wheels, they've got no idea, no agenda of where they're going. They are the only ones that have had any idea or agenda of where this country is going and have very clearly articulated it. Very clearly articulated it. You know what it is? Tell you what it is. It is creating a country that is a green energy superpower exporter that gets rich off of manufacturing things in this country, which, remember how that used to be a good idea? Remember how exporting things that are made in this country used to be what everyone used to say? We need someone that's going... Then all of a sudden when Labor does it, oh, it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea. You should have read the Crikey articles about it. Remember? Sexist. There's mostly men that work in factories. That's sexist somehow. This is the impenetrable dickheadry and idiocy that the Labor Party has to put up with, and everyone sits there and goes, oh, why are they so unpopular? Did you know this? I saw this happen. When Anthony Albanese was out trying to announce Future Made in Australia, which is what this is all about, and the TAFE goes right into it. It's all about upskilling the working class of this country so that the working class is more educated, so that the working class is worth more, that they can sell their labour for better value because they are making things that are worth more value. And, shock horror, this is the one that only Peter Dutton seems to get. Everyone else in this country seems to be too stupid to understand that what you are doing by educating the working class and putting them in factories is you're increasing union membership. This is something that people really need to get through their heads. You have a manufacturing base. You have high union membership. That's good for them. That's good for the country. That's not good for the Liberals. That's definitely not good for Gina Reinhardt and her crew. Definitely not good for the Teals and their representatives in the seats of Wentworth. No, it is good for Western Sydney. It's good for the shit-kicker suburbs like Logan. It's good for places in Melbourne in the outer suburbs. That's what it's good for. It is raising their living standards. And not only raising their living standards, this is how they're going to get their living standards raised. By decarbonising the world. That's Labor's vision. Decarbonising the world. The working class is going to get rich off of saving the planet. And they don't have a vision for this country. They are putting forward, very succinctly, costed, completely backed, has a lot of interest in super funds, obviously it would, which is creating an entire new economic engine of this country. An economic engine that is literally going to power the world into the green tech future. And here's the big bonus. Now that Trump's being such an idiot and just his war on renewables, guess what? That puts trillions of dollars of investment back on the board from people that are a little smarter than our idiot oligarchy that doesn't even seem to get what is happening here. Not even the Teals puppet masters like Simon Holmes Accord seem to get this. They don't seem to get that this is a golden opportunity where you are making an Australia where... we're off again.
Really?
Yeah.
Look. Yeah, this is the spot there.
Buildings internet?
Well, it's not the ground. It's whatever's coming in from the outside.
Okay.
Give it a second to see if it just reconnects.
Test. It's back? No. Well, it's celebrating. But it's not recording. It's not recording. But there is...
Yeah,
Okay.
you can go off.
Damn, it's like the Truman Show.
Alright, well, seeing as I'm already just here, that's going on and off when you are pressing the space bar.
I'm not pressing the space bar.
Okay.
Maybe I am.
You don't have to record the stream. You're not recording.
No, it's just down here. It was reading before and now it's not. But look, that internet is back. All right, so That is the future that the Labor Party is putting forward. A future where the working class of this country is richer, is more educated, is making a better world instead of digging iron out of the ground. They're processing that into making a bunch of batteries and solar panels that we can sell throughout the rest of the world. So not only are we the world's quarry, but we are the world's factory. They are making us into a cross between Japan and Saudi Arabia, but a good Saudi Arabia. And then you have all these idiots online saying like, they're just the same. They've got no vision. They're independent. What vision do the independents have? Look at David Pocock's blank brick head and tell me what vision that dope has. That seems to just regurgitate whatever lobbyist comes into his office that day. This is what the Australian public is throwing away at this election. I can't believe it. Especially one that has this good of an economic track record. I mean, I can believe it because it's exactly the same trick that happens all throughout Australia's history. But you would have thought that in the mainstream media, like dying, and the new media emerging, that you would have a bunch of people that would be smart enough to get what happens. But no, you just realize that most social media influencers are complete ditzers that have nothing going on in their head. And so they just say, oh, this think tank, I'll just read out what this is saying today. You know, like it's just, it's honestly so depressing what is happening in this election. And like the Queensland one, you are just watching it go in slow motion. And the only way that you can ever get any reprieve out of any of these elections is ever, oh, the Labor Party isn't losing by as much as I thought. Anyway, that's the State of the Union. Now, Crims gave me $10. Thank you very much, Crims. Glad the stream is back. Again, for the second time. Thank you. Thank you for the $10, by the way. Is there plans to expand the Friendly Geordie team? Always plans to expand the Friendly Geordie team, but that would rely on us getting more cash. So if you sign up to Patreon, we will expand. And the reason that we want to expand is because of what I was just explaining then. I want, before I die, this is my dying legacy that I want to set up a media outlet that is truly pro-government. Unlike the ABC, which is basically just, oh, the Liberal Party's in, time to suck their ass. Oh, the Liberal Party's out, time to suck their ass just in case they get back in, I'm scared. I want to put out something that is constantly saying to the public, pretty much, did you know that the government's good? Did you know that the government is the thing that makes sure that there's not lead in your water? Like, it's probably, this is something that, don't you think the Americans are learning this firsthand right now? And I'm actually kind of glad that it happens. It makes me do believe in the accelerationist theory. You know, that whole idea that maybe it's a good thing that Republicans get in because they make things so bad that people realize, oh, maybe like government's a good idea. That's what I actually am glad to see is happening in real time, because you can just see Donald Trump's opinion polling go down. Musk doesn't care because he's obviously the puppeteer that's doing all of it in the background. But that is what you are seeing happening in real time. You have 30 years at this point of a bunch of think tanks, of a bunch of corporate interests endlessly spraying the population with the government is evil. The government is there to, I don't know, screw over you somehow. Some dark, mysterious way. I'll let you fill in the conspiracy theories yourself, you internet nutters. But nobody is sitting out there and saying, no, government is the only thing that separates us from the animals. I truly believe this. I think that there are two things that human beings have created that are good. Everything else sucks. Bureaucracy and unions. You know that I was thinking about this the other day. Think about the two places in the world that really everybody looks at and thinks, yeah, pretty benign. Wouldn't mind living there. Where is it? Okay, you've got your Scandinavian countries that pretty much followed exactly the same path that I'm talking about now, but I'm going to be talking about this because people always compare us to Scandinavian countries, even though you can't. It's such a con job to do that. One that you can compare is because we have very similar histories. Obviously, there's New Zealand, but there's also Canada, right? You know why Canada is such a more benign place to live? It's more boring than the United States. You've got to say that about it, definitely. But it is a better place to live. You know why that is? This is so fascinating to me. After the Americans declared independence, everybody that declared fealty to the king realized, oh, damn, it's payback time. And so they ran across the border. And then the whole thing was, when they went to Canada, there was nothing there. There was like an outpost town in Quebec of some French people going, would you like to buy some fur? And they were, what are you still doing here? I don't know. And also smallpox had pretty much killed all the Native Americans. There was still a few of them out there, but everyone always sits there and says like, oh, they're killed and stuff like that. Really what happens a lot of the time to native populations is diseases just wipe them out massively. And so when they went there, there was no one No one, really. There's like little outposts, little forts here and there of French people and some British people, just some little town. But nothing, no substantive society at all. And so what happened is you had all the people that moved from America that were about to receive payback. And who were these people? They were merchants. So that's it. As you can see from my most recent stand-up show, big downer, not a fan of that. But it wasn't just the merchants. It was also the bureaucrats. Because the bureaucrats were the ones that were keeping the show going for the king. But now the king was gone, and so they, oh my God, how are we going to hail the king? Move over to the border, set up a new society. That's what they did, and it was set up by bureaucrats. This is why Canada to this day is still chugging along and is a benign place to live. It is because, regardless of what party goes in, there is a strong cultural proclivity towards having a strong bureaucracy. Obviously, they're trying to break that up now. Obviously, the same kind of Murdoch influences are there that are doing exactly the same thing to their society. Government's terrible, blah, 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 blah. But that foundation is fundamentally there. The reason that the Americans are just such an insane asylum that they are now, there's many religious reasons for it, but there's also the reason that, who started up theirs? Wealthy landowners who thought this was written in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. The point of government is to protect the opulent few from the masses. That's the reason that America is the way that it is now. I'm telling you, the way that a country is set up is the way that it continues to proceed on. So we were very lucky in Australia that we had a union movement that helped us set up and become like a very benign country. But it honestly wasn't because of the bureaucracy. We barely had any bureaucracy. Our bureaucracy was just a whip, just being like, get back to work. That was it. But we had unions that were like, I'm tired of being whipped. I want to get whipped 20% less. And they just fought for that over the years. These are the things that create good societies. Can't remember why I was talking about this. But anyway, move on. What's your thoughts on the rise of anti-Semitism? Hunter, look, honestly, thank you for your answer for $20. I don't know. I have no idea if that's true or not. None. I haven't looked into it once. That's my thoughts. I'm sorry that you gave me $20 for that. It's got nothing. So I could be like, what are your thoughts on this very specific strike that's happening in New South Wales? I'm sorry, but thanks for your 20 anyway. Look, Alan Robertson, $20. Listen, I think you were doing a wonderful job and love everything you do. I hope you get to the bottom of all this garbage. I'm from the United States and I still love you. Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you, Alan. Isn't it incredible how many nice people there are from Europe and the United States? So nice. And then in Australia, everyone's like, screw you. Make your house go on fire again. No. Well, I'm not watching. Thanks. Good on you guys. Appreciate it. Who else have we got here? Jordan sending $5 to keep up the good fight. Thank you. And it will be going towards the good fight, I can assure you. Now, to everybody else that gave me money just before I flipped out, I'm going to put all of this. I didn't flip out. That happened. Maybe I flipped out. I don't know. When will people wake up to the idea that they need to vote for generational change on wealth equality, both in Australia and the United States? The answer to that, Evan, is never. That's never going to happen. And I'll tell you why that'll never happen. Because the generation that has the wealth is going to want to keep the wealth. It's just human psychology. And the thing is, Evan, honestly, when you get into that generation, you'll want to be in on the con. It's just the circle of life. It just keeps accumulating more and more because that is what wealth does. It just keeps pooling. And so, yes, our generation is just like, I was bummed out. I wasn't born as a boomer, so I wasn't in on the grift. But if you were in on the grift, you'd want to keep it continuing. That's just how it works. That is the really duplicitous, nasty thing about the Liberals, is the fact that they know that and they deliberately geared society for that. What do you think of The Prince by Machiavelli? I have not read it, but I have heard that it is extremely underrated, and not for the reasons of like, here's how you stab people in the back, but it was all the rest of it, which is really talking about how a good society should be governed, and that's why they gave it that seamy, this is very ploppy, and that's what I hear. That's what I hear, but I am going to have to read it for myself at some point. But don't you think that a lot of the time when you read these books that are from a long time ago, like I was trying to get through The Art of War, and yes, The Art of War does have some very profound, epic lines in it, but in between that, it's kind of just like, on soft ground, walk faster. On hard ground, walk slower. On wavy ground, start walking wavy. Come on, come on. Anyway, I'm a cybercrime analyst from the USA, and I found your content while investigating something totally unrelated. I'm glad you're Angry Katie Legend. Thank you for the USD $5. What the hell? Get away from... Who wants to read MSN.com? Certainly not me. Piss off. No. There we go. Back in business, baby. Love you, Geordies, but you need some mods down here. Probably I do. Here's the trick. You don't read the comments. Now, back to reading comments. $10, $10, and it starts with Menzies. Mr. Give half the country to the Japanese so we don't meet anyone in combat. That's so true. And then went on to be Prime Minister for 23 years. The system's so rigged. I hate it. I hate it so much. Oh my God, it's such a crime that he was Prime Minister. Again, let alone the longest serving. All right. $8. What's worse? Fusion, Elon Musk fused with Scott Morrison, or Bruz fused with Donald Trump? Elon Musk fused with Scott Morrison, or Bruz fused with Donald Trump? Dude, Bruz fused with Donald Trump is not bad. That's mad. That would be the greatest human being that ever lived. It's Christ. And then what's the alternative? Elon Musk fused with Scott Morrison, two of the most unappealing human beings on earth. Give me Bruz fused with Trump, an unstoppable dynamo in his own mind. That would be sick. Would you go on cold ones? Hell yeah, I'd go on cold ones. Thank you for that. Also, I'd just like to ask this of anybody that is watching at the moment. Does anyone know what the Dark Enlightenment is? Can someone enlighten me? Can somebody just give me the bullet points of what Dark Enlightenment is, what I could read about it without just reading a bunch of technobabble? I hear that this is extremely important to understanding what the whole ethos is behind your whole Musk crowd. So let me know. Does anyone know? In fact, I'm just going to check the comments at the bottom here. Okay, no one's answering, so I'm just going to move on. Keep up the good work. Greetings from Poland. Jesus, you've got money? Thanks, man. Look at this. You're a king. You are a king. Shouldn't I be giving you money? Thank you, though. That's so nice. Can't believe it. The people from around the world, hey? So nice, pal. Cheers. Hey, Jordan, good to see you back. I was wondering if you thought about Juice Media's video on donation laws, Labour and LP pushed through Parliament. I was just talking about it before. Bullet points, obviously, it's all so stupid. And it's just them doing what they always do, which is regurgitating Australia Institute points. And Australia Institute will not tell us where they are getting their funding from. But surprise, surprise, all of the independents that are getting funded by Simon Holmes Accord, who's another billionaire, are all regurgitating their talking points. And all their talking points are mistruths. Every last one of them. And they're dumb talking points about why it was bad that they have to have their salaries capped when they are pumping in unprecedented money into this country. I mean, Jesus Christ. I was just reading out Senator Pocock sitting there, and then they were saying, look, I think it's bad for democracy that someone gets to spend $2 million on an ACT Senate seat. And then he goes, oh, point of order, it wasn't $2 million, it was 1.7, get over it. 1.7 million dollars. This is what's happening to this country. And then you have these dumbass independents and all the new media freaks that support them sitting there and saying, oh, no. When we said you need to get money out of politics, we were talking about candidates that we don't support. What the hell are you talking about? Also, on top of that, your candidates suck. Independents suck. All of them, bar Andrew Wilkie. The rest of them, you go look into them for a second, they're all just former Liberals, all of them. And then every time I say that, people always go, oh, they're not former Liberal. Look at them. Look at what the former politics was of Pauline Hanson. Look at what the former politics was of Jackie Lambie. Look at what it was of Senator Reddick. Senator Reddick was like LNP just like a year ago. Look at what Bob Catter was, former national. Look at what all of these independents are and what the seats are. They just sit there bragging, literally, I am Lib Light. And these are the ones sitting there saying, I'm against donation reforms all of a sudden, even though I've been campaigning on like the majors getting donations this whole time. This is all they want from it. They just want an unfair advantage. And then they have stupid talking points like, oh, if you're an independent, you only get $800,000, but the majors get like 50 million. Yeah, because they're running in, or 90 million, because they're running in 150 seats. Do the math. Come on, you're almost there. But they won't. They won't do it. And the reason is because the average person that votes for these people, they are just former Liberals. They're just former Liberals that can't admit that they're wrong. So both major parties suck, you see, because they were taught when they were young by mummy and daddy that both major parties suck. So they can't go to the Labor Party, but also it's not cool. The brand of the Liberal Party isn't cool. This is why the Liberal Party needs to rebrand every few years. And in the meantime, while they rebrand, they always move to independence. I'll go to the independents. It's just another brand. That's it. Liberals with another hat. Yeah, I think that was it. All right, I think I've read all of them. Let's go moving into these ones. Hey, Jody's really big fan of your content, and this is a real treat when I get to see you live in 3D. You should read Nation Building, State Building, and Economic Development by Sarah C. Payne. Well, thank you very much for the book recommendation as well as the 30. I will be spending it on that book. Let me just read this. A Nation Building, State Building. Let me see. Thank you for your time. If you will just bear with me and my extremely slow internet for no reason. I suppose also it is that I am streaming, so I really can't talk. But yes, I like it. I like it a lot. Let me read this one. Hey, Perthian here. Any updates on when the Patreon vids will be released through YouTube? That carbon tax vid genuinely single-handedly changed my mind on how I view the Greens. Godspeed, Jordan. Yeah, no, that's coming out soon. Don't you worry. Definitely before the election. Yeah, no, something really needs to be done about the Greens. They really are a cancer on this country. As such, I will say this. I think that virtually the entire crossbench is a cancer. Pretty much all of them. Most of them are funded by billionaires. In fact, the only ones that aren't funded by billionaires are the Greens. They're only funded by multi-millionaires. But I will say this about them. They are the worst. This is why I'm saying that money isn't everything. They realize, and I think it is because they don't have money, primarily what they do is need to fund money. This is why they're endlessly pumping the algorithm with like, did you know that you can give us our first preference and it still goes to Labor anyway? Why are they doing that? Because they get an extra $2.90 every time somebody is stupid enough to be like, yeah, they want Greens. And then on top of that, what do? They deliberately block progress. They did it on housing. They did it on migration. They did it on the Environmental Protection Act. They did it on the Nature Repair Fund. Like all the things that their constituency should like, they block just so they can turn to their constituency and say, look, nothing's getting done. Labor's not doing anything. Isn't this tragic? And their constituency is stupid enough not to connect the dots together. The reason nothing is getting done is because they're fucking blocking it deliberately blocking progress in this country. They are a cancer. I hate them with all my heart. Yes, so yes, I will be doing that. Yes, thank you. Yes, now, what else have we got here as a readout? Love your content from California. California Gully and Bendigo. Oh, no, California Gully and Bendigo. The actual California. Live 30 minutes from the Mexican border. You're very hilarious and well-informed. Found your channel for most critical. And $10. How can you hate this man? How can you hate him? I love the Yanks. Every single one of the Yanks that supports me. I can't get over it. You're just so nice. Good on you. You're elected PM. Who's in your cabinet? Goats for each ministry, past and present. Love the channel. Cheers. Evan. All right. Who am I putting in there? Dude, come on. Chiefly for Minister of Defense. Definitely. What are we going to give? No, sorry, Curtin. Yeah, what are we going to give Chiefly? Minister for Partying Down. What are we giving him? Minister for Health. Oh, brutal. Bob Hawke, what are we giving him? Well, he has to be Minister for Partying Down. Paul Keating, obviously your Treasurer. Prime Minister, honestly, this is going to be not a popular pick. Kevin Rudd's obviously Foreign Minister. Prime Minister... Dude, could you imagine how boss it would be? Even though just the government would collapse it on itself, but it'd just be sick. Jack Lang. Wouldn't that be sick? Look, if I was going to be sincere about this and really do it, but it'd be so funny if Jack Lang was that. All right, Jack Lang gets to be Minister for, I don't know, the NDIS. It's so mean. I don't know, what are we going to put him in? But I'll tell you the one that I do want to put up as Prime Minister. Wouldn't this be sick? Bob Carr. I honestly think he would have been a great Prime Minister. He would have been the best. The best. He's just got a way of communicating with the general public. He's not condescending. He's not snide. He's obviously extremely intelligent. Does all the right picks every time, even when they're not popular. And also, this is his entire ethos in life. Have the argument. If you don't win the argument, that's fine. That's his whole ethos. Don't you want someone like that leading? If you don't have the argument, you don't get anywhere. And if you have the argument and lose, okay, you lost. That's cool. How respectful is that? He's just great. What was the most outrageous grinder story that you've seen? that you had cut, and what was the thoughts of the Trump and the... Well, okay, look, Matthew, I can't tell you what the most outrageous Grinder story was, but the one that I saw the other day that was on there, you know, the one about them... About the one of the guy just saying, can I cut up a fake V word in your stomach? And I'm so squeamish thinking about it. Look, that's on the self-help channel. You can check that out if you want. Oh my God, some of those Grinder stories. You know what? You know what's even worse? We're going to do one on sniffies. Apparently that is a new low. But thank you very much for your money. It's just coming in thick and fast. Thank you. Someone just gave me $10 for no reason. Great. Great. Appreciate it so much. Are we going to win the election? Have you any insider information from the Labour Party? Love you, work boss. Luca, no, I don't have any inside information from the Labour Party. And I think that the inside information that everybody has is just the same as what is reported on the outside. But I will say this. I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen in this election. I think that all polling is bullshit now. I think that that has just been conclusively proven over the last decade. I think that what you the best sign of what you can see across the channels is probably word of mouth. And anybody that I talk to that is an organizer or somebody that's door knocking on the street, this I think is a very good sign. You ready for this? I think this is a great sign. People are saying when they open the door 9 out of 10 times, no, I've got no real issues. Oh, cost of living, I guess. Like if they're prompted, yeah, I guess cost of living, yeah, that's a bit of a downer. But they don't seem to equate that, even though you get it constantly in the media of each our vote for. I think the average Australian isn't that dumb. Yeah? They're not that dumb. They obviously get that this was a global phenomenon. It's sort of the same as what happened with the recession under Paul Keating. It's sort of what happened with the GFC under Kevin Rudd. People understand that that's not their fault. They might not understand that they did things to really, really temper it, and they will never be as grateful as what they should be for those governments being in there. But they don't blame them for it, and I'll take that. Generally, despite what you hear amongst these sorts of circle bubbles that we are in ourselves, and we just think about it non-stop all the time, most people don't, ever. They don't ever think about this, ever. You know that they think that a large population of the Greens vote, the vast majority of the portion of the Greens vote, in the Greens' own mind, they all think that they're just leading the revolutionary vanguard and the new Leninists. They all think themselves as that. The reality is, most people vote for them purely on this. It has the vibe of being the Environment Party. That's it. And then they just sit there and they're like, I like the environment. And then they just tick it and then they move on with their day. Because it purely just has, that's it. That's it. It's just some good little deed that they do and so they can feel good about themselves. Then they never think about it again. And that's why most people vote for it. Purely just because it's got that issue attached to its name. So that's what people vote on. That's really the vast majority of their voting base. When you ask people about the major parties in this day and age, no one knows what they stand for anymore because no one thinks about politics ever. And the reason people don't think about politics generally is because we live in a good society. And so most people don't think, oh, well, it could very well not be like this forever or it could be better. You just don't think about this kind of stuff if like you're just not hungry, you know? You just mostly just think about like, I should bring some sausages to the barbecue. That's most people. What are your thoughts on the results on the by-elections in Victoria? Longinus, I am glad that you asked me this because this is one of the very few niche questions that I have been asked tonight that does make me feel stupid because I have been thinking about this one. And as a result, I think I do have a very measured answer. And I would say that the by-election results in that, quite good. Quite damn good. Not great, but good. Now, that is one of the big indicators that you can tell when it comes to polling. Says a man that has never been right about polling ever. I've never predicted an election outcome correctly. But I think that I'm on solid grounds when I say that it is more important to look at by-election outcomes than it is to look at national outcomes. Polling. Understand this. The seat where the Liberals and the Labor Party were up to head neck and neck with each other, that was a Labor safe seat. Labor retained that seat. It's on by a thin margin now. I think it was at 10 points now. It's at 6.6. So really thin margin. The point is, it was retained. It was retained. Now, when you move over to the Greens versus Liberal seat, the Greens held it for 3 shows, and this is really bad news for them because there was always just this idea that once a seat goes green, it stays green. Guess what? It's Liberal now. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that for so long, the Greens have always had this very undeserved image of themselves of being above politics. We're actually a movement. We're not actually political at all. They are the most political animals out of all of them. True animals. Absolutely detestable human beings. They, do absolutely nothing in Parliament except obstruct. Nothing. Truly awful people. I've done many a video explaining why. I'm not going to go through the details again, seeing as I did just 20 minutes ago, but I will say this. The fact that it moved back to the Liberals, what does that tell you? It tells you that the electorate sees the Greens as just another party. Their sheen has worn off, and I couldn't be happier. Sucked in. When you look at the last 4 elections, you have Sydney Council elections, or New South Wales Council elections. You have Queensland. You have by-elections in Victoria, and you have ACT. Every one of these, the Greens vote got whomped. Their primary went up slightly. Who cares? It's about getting the seats, and they lost them in big numbers. You going, are you?
Yeah.
Toodles. Thank you very much for your help. Jesus, I really, literally couldn't have done it without you. Far out. That was Mr. Mystery Man. And now Mr. Mystery Man is going off to a mystery location. I know where it is, but you don't. So anyway, that is the big push here. That's the big push that's happening. Yeah? You have to understand this. If the Greens are losing to the Liberal Party, they do not have the same image that they once had. And you know why? Because it's in a video that I have, and you can sign up to the Patreon and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to be doing more of these bigger explainer videos. And that's why I think that you should sign up to Patreon, because we can do more of that stuff. And it's very important because it completely warps and changes your view of what the Greens actually stand for, what the independents and minor parties actually stand for. And one of those things is, and I cannot tell you how bad this was. I can actually. It just sort of take me half an hour, and it's better if you just go sign up to Patreon and watch it now, which is the Greens blocking the ETS. This is where they learned, if you block the things that your party cares about, which is exactly what One Nation has learned, which is exactly what the independents have learned, because they're all opportunistic assholes, they will block national progress that is very well founded, all executed, bunch of experts signing up to it, all planned out, ready to go, and they will block it and kill it in the Senate. And the reason that they will kill it in the Senate is because they've realized that when they do that, their shitty little base of narcissists, which is all minor parties and independents, it is just a movement on societal narcissism. It has nothing to do with material outcomes. It is all just about, I think migration's bad, but I can't be bothered to look into it, but migration sucks, so I'll vote One Nation. I think billionaires suck, so I'm going to vote Green. That's all it is. It's just vibe, right? But anyway, they had that image, and that election result, especially the one where it went back to the Liberals, shows that they no longer have it. They're screwed. They are privately, I know this for a fact, because you do have little insider rats, like from the Greens Party, people that do tell me things, whisper things in my ears. They know. They're shitting themselves. They know that this election is going to be bad, and it's going to be even worse. And you send this around to all your mates that are just like, both majors suck, and they just never vote for the Labor Party anyway. You should always convince people to vote for the Labor Party, because it's honestly the only party that does anything that's good and the thing that is actually the right decision. But everyone else is just... There's an old saying. There is an old saying in Parliament. There's the Labor Party and the rest of them. It was as true in Federation as it is now. The rest of them all just funded by capital. All of them. But, there's a few little pet issue parties. So, for instance, animal justice... I think it honestly just depends on the candidate when it comes to animal justice. I think it's just so loosey-goosey that some of them are just complete nutter psychos that will vote for things like, no, keep the Brumbies, because they're animals. And it's like, they're fucking up the national park and killing endangered animals. But they're so cute. And so they'll leave them going. There's those ones, but then there's ones that are just very sensible. I think Animal Justice Party is one of them, but I think that the other one, and this is very important, the Weed Party, Legalized Cannabis Party, that's filled with people that are getting things done, that are cooperative, and this is the best part, I think they've got a good chance of nabbing some seats off the Greens. And they will actually be cooperative. And they actually will do some cool things about their pet issue, which is cannabis. But other than that, they seem to be just made up with a bunch of people that get it. And they get that, like, there is the weed cannabis moniker. And yeah, they will represent that constituency that likes weed. And there's just been these, like, philosophers that have been sitting there thinking about weed for the last 40 years. So they're going to have some insights or whatever. But when it comes to the actual issues, they're extremely cooperative with the Labor Party. They're extremely constructive with the Labor Party. The rest of these, they are exactly what you think the Greens are. And the Greens are shitting themselves because they realise that more and more people are figuring this out. Oh, $20. Here we go. 200 SEK. What is SEK? Swedish krona. Hell yeah! Krona. I didn't even realise that you had your currency anymore. Sam, thank you so much. Jordan, if you want to know more about the Dark Enlightenment, I really recommend looking into Peter Thiel's surrounding group and show Curtis Yarvis wiki Menicus Moldbug and look at the rage section under Dark Enlightenment. Yeah, but can someone just summarize it for me? I don't want to do homework on it. Look, okay, look, I will do the homework on it because I honestly think that this does sum up what the new oligarchy of America... Am I right in thinking this? Am I right in thinking that the new oligarchy of America... Because you hear that Steve Bannon is into this. You hear that Elon Musk is into this. You hear that all of big tech is into Dark Enlightenment, whatever the hell it means. So I am going to be looking into this. So, Peter Thiel, and I have heard of Curtis Yarvins. So I will look into that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next. Hey, Geordies, the Dark Enlightenment. Damn, everyone's doing it. Thank you so much for giving me money for answering my question. You guys are legends. So good. Hey, Geordies, the Dark Enlightenment is accelerationism that rejects development of the Enlightenment, started by Nick Land. Curtis Yarvin is also a writer and hangs around Peter Thiel and such. Okay, so everyone knows, everyone's into this. Accelerationism that rejects the development of the Enlightenment. And is this why it's, Elon Musk is saying things like, I'm dark goth maca? Is that why? Is that what's going on? Look, Dark Enlightenment sounds terrifying. That's all I know. Does anyone else know more than that? Thank you so much for the SEC. Thank you so much for the $10 though. Kings, love yous both. Keith Mortner, with the WA state election coming up, what's your take on this WA politics? I will tell you right after this. Thank you very much. Let's look into this. Yeah, what was the last question that I was being asked? WA election, that's right. What do I think about the WA election? I think that this might be the first election that I've ever called right. I think that the Labor Party is going to win in a landslide. That's what I think about it. There's not much to say about it. I appreciate the $5 though, and it will be going to a good cause. It'll also be going to a good cause if you sign up to Friendly Geordie's Patreon, because that is what keeps us going. If we don't have Patreon, we close down. Really, we need about another 1,000 Patreons to even break even. That's how badly we need this stuff. Anyway, sorry, it's just I was trying to close something off at the same time, but I really appreciate it if you sign up to Patreon. You get to see a bunch of videos that no one else gets to see anyway, and all of these videos in advance, all these people talking in between us saying, oh my god, that video that you did over the time, that one was awesome. That's all they were saying. None of them ever said it was shit. But yeah, they are all there. Hey, Jordmeister, can you do a video on your other channel about increasing your vocabulary? That would be really, really, really good. Thank you for your first donation. Okay. I've already done it, first off. There are many books on it, but I think that, and this is something that my editor showed me the other day. My editor has one of the best vocabularies I've ever seen. Please look at me go. You didn't think about talking about vocabulary. As soon as you do, your vocabulary becomes good. It just does, doesn't it? Because you start thinking about it too much. Anyway, he has one of the best perspicacities that I've ever seen in my life. His perspicacity is incredible. I'm just trying to think of smart words now. And the reason for it is because he read Word Power Made Easy. And I read it when I was a kid. And by kid, I mean 19. I think I read Word Power Made Easy. And the reason that I read it is because I read, even back then, that the larger your vocabulary is, the more likely you are to succeed in life, because you have more words to construct sentences with. You can get ideas into people's heads. You are able to clarify ideas in your own head. This is the importance of increasing your vocabulary. And in this day and age, there are proven methods of it. Word Power Made Easy was sick. Just get that. That's honestly, that was worth $10. Every time I see someone mention the Brumbies, I bring up Mr. Hands and how that turned. Why? And why was he called Mr. Hands again? Oh my god, you reminded me of that awful, awful documentary. Hey, guys! Thank you for your $5. Have you watched that Jerry Springer documentary? Oh my god. You like? That was one of the best pieces of television that I've seen in years. That was incredible. Wasn't that sick? Oh, it just brought back the glory days, but it was kind of like Supersize Me, where you thought, don't you feel like a Big Mac now? Don't you reckon? I went back and watched heaps of clips of Jerry Springer, and I thought, it was worth it. It was worth every penny. It is a sick show. Oh, how good was daytime television back in the day? I'm just going to be listening to this. I don't think I'm allowed to listen to it on the main channel, but I will just like, you know what I want to do, honestly? Even though I've just paid for this extremely fancy beginning, I wish next time I need to upgrade my channel, I'm just going to make it look exactly, beat for beat, the opening to Ricky Lake show. Isn't that the most 90s thing you've ever seen in your life? Oh, I loved Ricky. I had the biggest crush on her. Who didn't? How hot was Ricky Lake in the 90s? Christ, before she got that creepy art teacher look in the 2000s. Sorry, I know this is off topic, but every time I think of Braz, I think of the time he said, the Kurds should have finished the job. I forgot about that. That was hilarious. Kurds should have finished the job. Saying it to Gladys. Or behind her back. And the fact that he could have said any other race in the region. It's so true. It's so true. You're so right. It's like, first off, it's really abusive. Second, it's not even historically accurate. Oh, that's priceless. You're so right. That was hilarious. There's so many good classic moments of John. We were all worse for it when he was departed from our life, all of us. It was honestly worth the endless abuse and harassment. It really was. Dark Enlightenment seems to resonate alongside Glavset aims, if you know what that is. Call it a hunch. Rubles are still paying for hybrid warfare. Glavset. Lav set aims. Oh, that stuff. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, in this day and age of us being on the cusp of having a real life Robocop, I think that this is what the elite think. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I really feel like that this is something that we should really look into. Maybe it's all just dumb, nothing conspiracy, but it just doesn't seem like it. It seems like there's something to this, like the JFK assassination or UFOs. Did you know that that's going to be my new show this year? Oh my god, I'm so excited to do it. So excited. Redacted wrote for $5. Thank you. New South Wales police charged me with a crime that wasn't mine and left it with me for 10 months due to pure ignorance. And all I got was a too bad. Yeah, that happens. That's what happens. That does happen. I've had people that had that. Yeah, I can vouch for this man, having never met him or known his circumstances. All I know is that I've seen that. Imagine what an Australian version of the Jerry Springer show would have been like. Yeah, we had it. It was called Beauty and the Beast. Oh, so good. Beauty and the Beast was sick. That's what I'm saying. Timmy, you are so on the ball. Thank you so much for the $5. He's so right. Jerry Springer was amazing. Have you seen... I'm just going to start reacting to this online on my self-help channel. Oh, what is it called again? It was the guy that... Steve Wilkos show. Have you seen that? Steve Wilkos makes Jerry Springer look like Ricky Lake. Oh my god. It's the only daytime TV show that's on anymore. They're all dying. It's just so sad. I'm so sad that the daytime TV show format is going. That's the best. We were truly blessed when we were sick as millennials, sitting at home watching Oprah, watching Jerry Springer, watching Ricky Lake. Those were the golden ages. The golden ages. It was all brilliant television. All of it. But Steve Wilkos is the only one left, and it's so hardcore. I can't even talk about it on this stream because it'll definitely get demonetized. Oh, anyway. Marx would say Nick Land, Curtis Muldog, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, NRX is schizoanalysis in reverse. See, yes, okay, so this is the progression of change. I think that that's what's happening. What that guy's talking about there. So people they know about this. God, everyone's smarter than me that watches me. Luke Palmer, where did you go, Geordies, and why are you back? Luke. Look, I can't even tell you why I was away. It's exactly the same reason as I was away last time. Partially, it was because it was the Christmas break, but then there was also the fact that sort of what we were talking about, which I'm not allowed to talk about on stream because I might say something stupid. But the video that we just released. Does that answer your questions? I hope so. I'm scared. I'm scared. It never ends. Ah! Look, I'm not going to have a breakdown while I'm on here. it just never ends. Yes, so anyway, that's where I've been. In the meantime, though, I've been making hay. I've been coming up with a bunch of self-help seminar shows that I'll be shopping around Australia, and I will be uploading to my website just in case you haven't missed them. But that's what I've been doing in my main time. And also, I've just been writing this UFO show, and the UFO show is going to be incredible. The UFO show I'm so excited about. So excited. You know why I'm excited about it? Tell me if I'm wrong about this. What I'm excited about is it could be real. My word. What the hell? I truly think this. I truly think it is possible that the US government has alien spacecraft. Now, I'm not saying that they do, but I am saying that that is one of the most likely explanations for the weird circumstances and the incredible cover-ups that they've gone through. Anyway, you're going to have to watch the show. I can't go into it now, but it's just... Look, even the fact that that is a possibility freaks me out. I always just thought this is what I always explain it as. I used to put it in the same category as Bigfoot and fairies. Now I put UFOs in the same category as the JFK assassination, which is just one down from the Whitlam dismissal. All right, just accidentally made a $15 comment on your last video instead of the live stream, but whatever, G. I'm sorry. Thank you, though. Thank you. I'm sorry, dude. Hey, Geordies, voted in my first election today. Oh, WA early vote. I didn't even know it was open. There you go. Just wanted to say thank you for helping me out for the right pipeline when I was younger. You are most welcome, Alice. Yeah, you are most welcome. Honestly, it is an extremely long-standing red pill to take, but it is just one of these things that happens in maturity when you grow older. There was always just this thing when I was older, and I was like, when I was younger, I was exactly the same as everyone else. I was like, did you know that growing was like a revolution and all this? And then like, there's just all these older people being like, just I can't even be bothered going through the steps that you have to go to, which is what that whole channel is. It's just me being like, just shut up, like just going like, no, dude, they're a mainstream party for a reason. I could go through 100 years of boring parliamentary procedures, or you could just trust me. But no one trusted me, so you had to go through the 100 years of boring parliamentary procedures. But good on you. Good on you for voting in your first election. And good on you for voting early. Good on you for doing that. Honestly, it brings a tear to my eye. What are some things you would like to see Labor do differently? And is there anything that you've disagreed with that they did in this term? Look, there are things that I've disagreed with them on, like AUKUS or whatever, right? Or the handling of David McBride. But it's not like I don't understand the reason that they got there. You understand? Like everything that you ever say, like, oh, their housing policy sucks. First off, it doesn't. It's just you don't know what the housing policy is. I could go through it, and I will for the right price. But it's also this thing of, even if you don't agree with something that they've done, you can understand the logic that goes behind it. Because the whole thing is, if you are a serious government, they go through a bunch of perspectives. There is a bunch of boring stuff that you have just never gone through in your life and never will, because it's boring, and why would you? And they obviously just go to that conclusion as a result of a bunch of knowledge that happened beforehand. It's just the thing is, like, dude, the solution to things is not that crash hot and easy. You know what? I'll give you a very good example of this. Recently, we just did a video where I was just pointing out, if you go on any website of all these scam minor parties, like your Greens, your One Nation, the New Independents, the Liberal Party, what do they all say? Here's our policy to fix the housing crisis. This is what they're promising. We're going to fix the housing crisis. This is what the Labor Party said from the very beginning. You can go and read it right now. It is just like, our plan to deliver public housing, our plan to deliver rental properties, our plan to help first home buyers. It is not saying we're going to fix the housing crisis. It is not what Pauline Hanson said that I saw in the Daily Mail the other day, where she said the solution to the housing crisis is easy. You know, they are all just advertising bullshit wares of snake oil to their preferred demographic that wants that particular flavor of snake oil. None of them, no other party except the Labor Party says these are the problems facing this country. We don't have this miracle cure that is going to solve it overnight. You can't solve something that has been in slow motion happening over 30 years. It takes 30 years to get out of it. Sorry, but we can put you on the right path. No one wants to hear that. Everyone wants the miracle cure. They want the miracle cure tonic. So, when it comes to things that I disagree with on the Labor Party, I didn't agree with the TikTok ban, but again, I understand the logic of it, and I also understand that there is a bunch of mothers in Australia that really want it, but I'm not a mum, so I was just like, what? 16? That's bullshit. But if you're a parent, apparently your perspective on it changes entirely, because you see your little children turn into goblin ogres and they want it banned from 16-year-olds, and I just sit there and say, you just get around it. But, you know, it's going to be a bunch of dumbasses that aren't going to be able to get around it. But yes, that is one thing that I do disagree with them on. Love your work, man. Jeez, what the hell? $200? What? That's it. I'm putting on the hat. I'm putting on the hat. You're getting it backwards. That's how cool you are, player. Wow. What a guy. Bryce Woods. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is so nice of you. As always, really appreciate it if you signed up to our Patreon, because our Patreon is what keeps the lights on. Our Patreon is the thing that has been able to get us to do all of these things over the years. It is a choose your own adventure. And if that Patreon dries up, and I'm telling you right now, that Patreon is about 1,000 patrons lower than it needs to be for this channel to be sustainable. You got to sign up to it. It's the price of a newspaper, and you are getting way more value out of it than you are a newspaper, which is basically just lying to you. Do you think Dutton expands his throat to make his voice deeper when he talks? Or does he? Or does the pegging go all the way up? Have you heard about Peggy Sue? Oh my god, imagine if it's another Ingadine Maccas thing. Well, I hope that it's not an Ingadine Maccas thing, because that never happened. But it's still funny to think about it happening. So, anyway, apparently there is this prosy that says, yeah, I'll peg a prominent politician, not saying who. Because they've got that little, you know, your secret's my secret, Dale. She said it was a Queensland politician. She said it was prominent. Everybody jumped to the conclusion and was just like, it's Dutton, sucked in Dutton. Wouldn't that be incredible? Do I put on this voice? I don't think he does. Oh, my name's Peter Dutton. He's got a real... It's incredible. He has the voice of one of those... Exactly what he is. One of those Queensland dads who's like, oh, I don't think about that. It's just such a cop voice, isn't it? No, I don't say that. No. That's his voice. I really wish he didn't put those glasses on. I wish that no one told him that he looks way less scary with the glasses. He was too terrifying to elect without it. But I seriously think if Peter Dutton wins the next election, it is going to be purely because of those glasses. Purely. Off topic, but John Curtin versus Jack Lang, who wins? Oh, don't make me choose. Don't make me choose. Because the thing is, I want to choose Jack Lang, but you got to choose John Curtin. You have to. You can't. It's just, look, John Curtin is a true legend. A true legend. Not as in like the Aussie Muzzy boy, like, you're a legend. As in, that guy deserves to be written down in the history books as a sort of a, I don't know, King Leonidas or something like that. That's what he did. He pretty much just was the guy that defended us against the Persians with the 300. You got to give it to him. Especially like the landmine field that means he set up for him and still kicked their asses. Kicked Japan's ass. Australia. That's how good Labour is. Excited for the UFO show. You damn well should be, Jacob. Thank you for your $5. Going to make a 6-hour motorbike trip to Adelaide for it. No. There's got to be somewhere closer for that. You can't just live out there. What the... Is Adelaide seriously the closest place that I go? That can't be right. God, what a shithole you live in. Thanks for the podcast. They're helping with the isolation and working on the farm. Oh, man. It is incredible how many truck drivers and people that work on tractors all day are like, love the podcast. Makes so much sense now, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh. Look, you're a better man than I am. I'll say this. You actually are a man. Look at me sitting here. Can you have the money? And look at this background. It's like play school. Thank you for the answer. Gee, guy, $10. Thank you. I get that. I'm smart enough to know that something's blatant bullshit, but don't always have enough information to formulate opinions on and have trouble staying up to date. No, look, that's a service that I'm more than willing to provide. I wish that I wasn't more than willing to provide it. I wish that someone else would step up to the plate. But everyone else in the new media is a bullshit artist. They are all just regurgitating talking points from Climate 200 that conveniently line up with Australia Institute, that conveniently gives all the talking points to the independents in Parliament. And they're all crap. If you look at any of them for longer than 3 seconds, it's bullshit. Anyway. I just have to check something very quickly. I'll be right back instead of just sticking into the microphone obnoxious. I'm back. Thanks for the answer. G Guy, thank you for the $10. Didn't have to do it again. And I'm just going to shout it again. Bryce Woods, $200. What the hell? That is so much money. I think some Canadian gave me $10 cash. Jesus. Greetings from Toronto. in Kanukistan. Can't believe it's been 5 years since the Brud saga began. Doesn't feel like that long. It does for me! Thank you for the Canadian $10. That's sick. It's going over in Canada. I think there's like a new patronage support. Let me just look at Justin Trudeau's support ever since Trump got in. I'm sure that it's gone up. Surely. Damn, just what he's bowing out to. Trudeau tracker. Let's see. Yeah, it's up. Jesus, look at that drop. 74% disapproval, down to 58. What's approval up to? Up 34. Far out. Man, he sticks around long enough. I reckon that guy's winning the election. But I think that he's just... If you say that you quit, do you have to quit? What happens? Justin Trudeau, is he going to stay on as Prime Minister? Yeah, you should know this, shouldn't you, Maple Leaf boy? Sorry about this. Now I'm very curious and I'm going to look it up. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau resigns, announces that he will resign, announces that he'll quit. Yeah, but why is he still there? It's kind of just like David Letterman being like, I'm quitting, and then it's like 2 years later. Yeah. What? In line with cover-ups in US government, have you heard about plutonium files by Aline Wilson? Absolutely cooked. Also, if you did create a crash, who would you choose to fight and why? A girl, obviously. And, which girl is it? Who's the really anorexic chick again? I'll fight her. All right, now, what was I looking at? Plutonium files. The plutonium files. Oh my God. No. No. Do I have to read this? Oh, Spectre, don't make me read this. All right, the plutonium files is about America's secret medical experiments during the Cold War. Is this stuff like when they turned people into walruses? Is that what's happening? Oh my God, how expensive is it? The paperback's $700. You know, if somebody donates that much, I'll get it then. But other than that, let's see what else we've got. Just watch while I was away. Keep up the good fight. Thank you for your $20. Thank you very much, Frisky Dingo. What a great name, Frisky Dingo. Hey, does anyone know this? I've got an old rabbit, a very old. Thank you for your $20. You're a legend. I probably should be shilling Patreon at the moment, but I choose to waive that right. I'm just going to talk about my rabbit. I just got one because I've got like a, look, my fiance has a much younger sister that, as always, every kid, I want a rabbit. I'll look after it and pat it every day, and then get bored of it 6 weeks later, and then it's just sitting in its own shit and piss, right? And so anyway, we picked it up. We took it home. We thought, it looks lonely. We'll give it a partner. We got an old rabbit because it's an old rabbit. Not really old, like 6 or whatever. It's pretty old for a rabbit. And it's not desexed. It pisses on me so much. How does it even piss? And with accurate, pinpoint, super soaker precision. I was lying down writing because sometimes my back hurts. And so I'm just sitting there writing on the ground. And then he jumps over me. He's so small. Jumps over me and does this ninja on my legs. I was like, what? And then later on, he was rubbing his chin on everything, and I thought it was just because he was itchy. No, he was just trying to rub his scent on there. So I just rubs his chin, and then he just turns around, does this mad ninja backflip, and goes right in my face. What the hell is that? Anyway, let me move on. Helen Haynes is noticeably starting to slip in popularity. Good. Sucked in, Helen. Notably, when she shared a picture of herself in front of a now closed bank while bragging about keeping rural branches open for more than 2 years. Interesting. Interesting. Let me see this. Helen Haynes. Oh, God. Imagine having her as the mum. Ugh. Reginald, it's time for dinner. I'm really constrained all the time. La la la. Really? Okay, look, I will look into Helen Haynes more because I heard something very damning about her the other day. Now I can't remember what it is. But thank you for bringing my attention to the fact that she exists. I forgot about that again. All right. Hey, Jim, any chance, the Radmansha, any chance that you could make a shirt of a scanner skiing Scampy from MasterChef? Oh, reference! That's incredible! How do you remember that? How? Oh, you've blown my mind. Sir, I am forever in your debt. I can and I won't. Because you're the only one that's going to buy it. But so good. What a great get. That's, yeah. My comedy just went downhill from there. Anyway. Dish, 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 dish. Don't defend Abba. All right, I'm just going to respond to this dickhead because I was just looking at like my comments here. This dumb shit. Here's a thought. Why not increase taxes and levies on Coles and Woolies as a punishment for profiteering off the crisis? Because first off, they looked at the parliamentary recommendations, Mitchell, and they did exactly what the parliamentary recommendations did of a board of experts instead of just you going, here's a thought. Literally, that's your thought. Oh, just an idea. There you go. That's why. That's why, because they followed what was the recommendations for the profiteering and put it in. What were those parliamentary recommendations? Start enforcing the fact that you are not allowed to price gouge. Make it a criminal offence, as in you can go to jail for it. Make it also a fact that you can be fined 10% of your profit for the year for price gouging. That's why. I love Geordie's trying to defend Albo by making him out to seem a spineless wankstain to be walked over by the rich and powerful. Yeah, this makes me want to vote for Albo. Yawn. Nothing makes you want to vote for Albo, Mitchell. Look at this. Dude, it's always the same with these guys as well. It's always a fat loser ginger sitting by himself. Look, he's got something of just like, I like unicorns. Dude, just a man-child. Like, really one of those soy guys with the, oh my god, Nintendo Switch, guys. Dude, you suck. You suck. Oh my god, if only I could show you his face. He's actually doing the soy face, going like, such a loser. Anyway, loved your eps on Red Thread. Hope Jackson has you more on. Wow, how do you know that, Hamfish? Yes, I was on Red Thread. Yes, I like it. You know what I've got to say? I really like Jackson. Jackson's a funny, funny guy. And he's got such an interesting life because his entire life is just hanging out with American YouTubers but living in Australia. And so I'm a night owl, and so I text him during the night most of the time. And he's basically the only guy that you can talk to in Australia because there's no one else that's a YouTuber in this country. There's cold ones, and that's it. And good luck trying to talk to them. But he's great. He's just like a really good dude to have a powwow with. And he's sort of, I describe us as great apes. We're not both orangutans, but one of us is an orangutan and the other one's a gorilla, you know? We kind of see eye to eye on things. Loved your show. Going to the next one in Lismore. Oh, are you? Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Christ, Lismore. So rough. There's a few truly, dare I use a Greens phrase, quirked towns. Quirked towns. And one of them is Lismore. Jesus. Firstly, may I recommend World Ordering, A Social Theory on Cognitive Evolution by Emmanuel Adler. Okay. Yeah, you can. In fact, let me see if I can get it on Amazon for a price that is remotely palatable to me. Let me see. Oh my God, $100. No, you can't recommend it to me. James, that's a good start, but we're not getting it up. Sounds good though. Secondly, where and how do I see these Up Late podcasts? Can't find the link. Cheers. Oh, well, you just sign up to the Up Late podcast on Friendly Geordie's podcast and you get them. And it's all there. I'm a member of it. Isn't that sad? I'm a member of my own podcast. Cool. But it's the only way that I can see it because I don't have access to it. Ali does. And sometimes I need to listen to it just in case I haven't said anything too damning. Or, bitch about my girlfriend in a way that she might find out about. All right, so let's see. What else have I got? Oh, I'm sorry, I will go down into the... Are you a big Les Show fan? Who isn't? Thoughts on SA Labour's Save Wyala? I don't know what... it's too niche for me, buddy. It's too niche. I don't know. I love your take on the Chinese exercise. I'd love your take on the Chinese exercises in the Tasman Sea. Chinese exercises in the Tasman Sea. I don't even know what you're talking about, but let me see. Chinese. New Zealand's defense minister warns of the extremely capable Chinese warships in the Tasman Sea. Well, it just seems to be the usual thing, doesn't it? Just positioning. Positioning and prowess. The tiger, marking its territory, like my rabbit marks me as its territory, endlessly. Sorry, this is just what I got from just reading a quick little ABC. Like, did you know that? What's the implication? How was your day, G? $10. Standard day at the mill. As opposed to the fact that I'm back, though. Right, in fact, I should just check on how that video is doing very quickly, and then I will go back to it. But that was pretty much it. It was just launching that video, filming a couple of other videos. Bob's your uncle. Let me see what else I've got. You should commission the creator of the BizLez show to illustrate the chronic. Yes, I should. Yes, I should. That would be incredible if I did that. That would do really, really well. If you did an animated Chronicles of Yilmaz, wouldn't that do incredibly well? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Would it? It would, though, right? Surely. There we go. Probably should be some investors, Brad Sager, American style. Yes, okay, so that's all working there. All right. Let me keep going. Can you get a PDF of the book I read off the CIO website, I recall correctly? Also, hypothetical. CIO website, you can get a PDF of the book I read off. Really? Really? Okay. Sorry, I know that I've been checking this out a lot, just been like, just checking. But I'm going to write that in for later. Yeah, also, Albo, hypothetical, cold, Albo goes on cold ones. What happens? I'll tell you what happens. He wins the election. That's what happens. Maybe, though. Wouldn't their audience be entirely American? This is the whole thing. Like, most people's audiences are American. The only ones that aren't really American are mine. And, a few smaller fish, I guess. Generally, though, most big YouTubers, if they are Australian, their audience is entirely American. But I honestly think that if he did go on cold ones, like, it would be nothing but good for his image. Just sculled some beers. And also, on top of that, it's just the amount of viral content that would get and the amount of Zoomers that would be like, yeah, so, yeah, maybe. $5, Miari, right. How can we stop doing the weird fever dream infomercial style videos and the carbon tax video or the Australian one? I still quote that shit today. Really? I just stopped doing them because I'm not editing anymore. And then other people looked at it and said that was a stupid way of editing and not very time efficient. Look, here's something that I'll tell you about that happens throughout your career trajectory. I think if you're any good, there's people that just generate content from the very beginning, and those people always suck. They're soulless, and all they're in it is for the money or the fame recognition, right? But then there's true artists, and they always just... One second. What do you want? Where? Why? You're what? So? All right, I'll head back home at some point. Look at this. I'm on stream and I'm getting nagged by my wife saying like, when are you going to end it? So I will end soon. Yes, what did you say?
Are you like online at the moment?
Yeah, do you want to say hi to everyone?
Wait, hang on a second.
All right, you're on speakerphone now.
What?
You're on speakerphone. You're on speakerphone. Don't say any of the disgusting racial slurs that you always say.
Shut up, Jordan. You're such a liar. You're a pathological liar.
I am. There is no. I mean, I think we all know in the relationship who says the racial slurs.
Yeah.
Now, what did you want? You go on, tell everyone. Tell everyone.
I just wanted to know if you're going home now.
No. Now I'll go. Do you want me to come home? I'll come home. Actually, after this, I've got to film a couple of shorts, but I will go home soon-ish. Fair?
No.
Yes.
If it's soon, then you're going to be home too late and then I'll be asleep and you're going to wake me up.
Can you stop whinging? Oh my god. Yeah.
You wake me up all the time at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
So? Just get over it. Go back to sleep.
I can't go back to sleep. That's a problem because I'm a light sleeper. So I told you there's a rule. I get home.
Yeah. And then what happens? Oh, you cut out. Pathetic. Looks like I won that argument too. Perfect, 100% hot streak. So wait, do you want me to come home or not? This is incredible. Isn't this amazing? I'm getting kicked out of my own house by my wife.
I told you, Jordan, if you can't be home by 10:30, you're not going home.
All right, look, it looks like I'm probably going to have to end soon then. I'll just read out the ones that I've done and then, yes. Thank you as always for being so kind and considerate of my career. Really appreciate it too.
Jordan, I'm being kind and considerate of you as well as my sleep, but of you too.
Oh yeah, it's all about
you're
me.
constantly working all the time.
Oh, is that why? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you should just take it easy.
Yeah. That's the reason. Wow, you are so supportive of me. Thank you. Yes. All right, yeah. Look, I'll go. Stop nagging me.
Whatever. You deal with it. Okay, see ya.
Shut up.
Bye.
But don't respect me. All right, now we'll go back to these comments, and then I do have to get out of here. Otherwise, no. How come you stopped with the weird fever dream stuff? Oh yeah, is that it? I've got one more to read, and then I'm done. You could go in the direction of fictional stories. I don't know, just an idea. Name is pronounced Jai, by the way. Really? Your name is pronounced Jai, but it's Jahai. I thought you just worked at JB Hi-Fi. Not that it matters. It matters. Trust me, because you're a good boy. Usually, there's people always just like, oh, unsubscribe. Who are you? Shut up. But Jai's a good boy. All right. Hi, Jordan's mum. It's not Jordan's mum. I don't like the Freudian insinuation behind that. Anyway, I hope that you learned. I hope that you laughed. I hope that you prayed. And thank you so much for your support over the years. It honestly means a lot to me. If I can be sentimental for a second, honestly, what you, the audience at home, has allowed us to do melts my heart. Melts my heart. I think that we have been able to contribute a lot to society. And I think that that is purely, and I'm not just saying this as a spruik, even though I clearly am, purely because of the patrons. It is. The support that you guys have given over the years. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that just donated then. This is what keeps it going, because as you can plainly see on the huge lack of sponsorship that we've ever gotten on that channel, despite the fact that we view higher than the project does. You'd be an absolute idiot not to advertise with us, especially because it's just an Australian demographic. Where else are you going to get that? Where else are you going to get those numbers? We don't, though. And the reason we don't is because we are saying things that obviously advertisers are not comfortable with. Uncomfortable truths. And the thing is, the only way that you can say these uncomfortable truths and keep it going is if you have people contributing to the Patreon. So we really do appreciate that. And over the years, just everybody that's ever come to a show, anybody that's ever given money over these things, anybody that has even just like left the ads on, it's all because of you. It is. That is civics in action. I like the fact that we are active citizens. It's something that is just lacking more and more in this world. It's just people that seem to think, I don't owe anything to society at all. I don't even know what it is. I don't think about it. I just look after my family. Never the country, eh? Never the country. So I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate your support over the years, and I appreciate you just watching this stream. And I'll see you soon with another one. Thank you.